This is the magicwordpodcast.com.
Calm down. Hello. This is Scott Wells for the magicwordpodcast.com. Yes, we have finally reached another momentous milestone right here. That is, we're at episode number 800. Pretty darn amazing. We couldn't have made it without the support of all of you listeners all over the world. Thank you so very, very, very much. I wish I could get around to shake hands with every one of you and give you a hug, because I can only tell you from afar by you listening to this how much I really appreciate you coming back week after week and for listening to this podcast and supporting us the way that you do. I love hearing all the comments whenever I'm at magic conventions or I'm just out and about different places. I'm surprised at some of the most amazing places where I happen to run into some of you listeners. And I thank you so much for coming up to me and telling me how much that this podcast really means to you. And it really warms my heart. I thank you so much. And that's really kind of what helps keep me going. Of course, what really keeps us going financially are the friends of the Magic Word. And I really want to thank them very much for their support month after month and year after year. There are so many people who provide us with their monthly pledges and with also occasional donations using PayPal and Patreon to become friends of the Magic Word. People have rotated in and out, some people who have given money as they can. And so, again, I appreciate each and every one of you. I do want to point out, by the way, this week we do have someone who is a new supporter, a new friend of the Magic Word, and that is Terrence Brunk from Canada. Terrence, thank you very much. I appreciate your donation. It has certainly helped us, as well as, again, every dollar that everybody else helps support us with. And speaking of other dollars, you can certainly support us by going to Amazon.com. I guess actually if you go to the magicwordpodcast.com, at the bottom of each webpage, you'll see a logo there that says we are an affiliate of Amazon. By clicking on that, it takes you to Amazon. As we're getting into the holiday season, please remember to use that. It helps us through their affiliate program with just a few pennies that we kind of get from time to time. Not a lot of money, but every quarter or so we get about $10 that comes from Amazon. Not much when you talk about a few pennies here and there. But perhaps if more of you 10,000 listeners who use Amazon could click on that, and perhaps we will get a little bit more. So just a thought. I appreciate it. Well, this week's podcast actually was recorded earlier this year, and in fact, I have put this podcast to bed or scheduled it for the future. You're actually hearing it in the present, but I've actually recorded it in the past, but right now I'm recording the future. Yeah, it all comes together. I've got some heart surgery that was coming due on Wednesday, November the 8th, going in for an ablation surgery. So I was unable to actually be here to post this in real time. So just kind of getting this going in advance. I should be in and out of the hospital in just a few days, if all goes well. You'll be hearing from me again next week. If not, I hope you've enjoyed the last 800 episodes, including this one, because this week we've got just a fantastic guest, and that is Jack Goldfinger. Jack has been around for such a long time. He is someone who I call really the Yoda of magic, is someone who it's just great to hear him speak, because he speaks in such truisms. What am I trying to say? Just he gives good advice. Let me just put it that way. He has been the director of entertainment for the Magic Castle, that is the Academy of Magical Arts, for some number of years, having replaced Max Maven. And he is, of course, a well-known performer, having toured all over the world and finally staying there in L.A. and working with the Academy. So I had a chance to sit down with him, and I knew when I recorded this is something that is very special, that deserves some special treatment, which is why that I've saved this for episode number 800. So I'm going to step out of the way and let you enjoy my discussion I had this week with Jack Goldfinger here on The Magic Word. Today we are with a guest who many of you know or have heard of or have seen perhaps perform on television or on stage around the world. You have perhaps communicated with him from time to time, as he is currently the entertainment director for the Academy of Magical Arts, that is the clubhouse which is known as the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California. He has won many awards. You won the Palme d'Or. It seems like there was some other award that you had won when you were overseas there sometime or something. But let me just introduce my guest then. First of all, there's someone who I have been wanting to talk with for such a long time, a gentleman who is so full of wealth. He's a wealth of knowledge, just with great things that you need to get. Let me tell you in advance, ladies and gentlemen, who are listeners, dear listeners, please have a pencil and paper with you and pause from time to time because you're going to want to write down some of these gems. I just told him last night he polishes a diamond even brighter. With his beautiful gems and words of wisdom. Please welcome my friend, Jack Goldfinger. Hey there, Jack. So good to have you, my friend.
Wow, what a pleasure. What an honor to be invited to such a prestigious podcast.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you're here. Now, I mentioned about the Palme d'Or, and I thought that you and Dove had entertained many years ago, like in Monaco for Prince's... was that right, or was there someplace? No, I was thinking there was a television show I saw.
We went to Monaco and did a show. I'm trying to remember. Oh gosh, the host was Patrick Wayne. It was the precursor to the show that came later. I can't give you the actual name, but we performed for this television show.
I want to say it's back in the 70s sometime.
Oh, definitely. You look it up, Google it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that you guys had performed in a lot of elegant destinations, a lot of places around the world. As such, what is one of your most memorable places where you've ever performed? I'm always curious when I ask my guests of different things. I mean, whether it might have been before it might have been just an impromptu thing in which you might have changed someone's life that you found out later that, oh my gosh, this was so much fun, or someone said, this was wonderful, or you impressed me, or it might have been for a duke or duchess that was in the audience, or you never know. I mean, was there a particular place?
The only place that stands out in my mind, brain, is the Magic Castle.
Of course.
There is, and everything else is very nice and very prestigious.
Sure.
But when Bill and Milt invited us into the Magic Castle and its magic,
right,
that was the precursor.
What year were you in this magic?
Pardon?
What year were you in its magic?
I think it was 1970.
Early on.
Yeah, 75.
Okay.
Maybe even before.
Yeah.
Yes, 72.
I know you go back a little because I've got a friend who had served in Vietnam with you, that John Miller, had another magician.
Yes.
And he had told me that you were in the military. So.
And if you're counting out there, that's my third.
So far. Yes, we got a long way to go. So the Magic Castle, obviously, the house that Milt built here.
And Bill.
And Bill, of course.
And Irene. Okay.
It was the triumvirate of magic, I think. The people who were able to put this together and call on so much in order to make this thing happen. It happened to be the right place and the right point in time, I guess.
Yes, very, very much so.
Well, today we live in a place or a world, I guess, where we have a lot of other theaters and things that are magic theaters in particular that have been sprouting up. Magic Lounge and Smoke and Mirrors and so many other places. House of Cards in Nashville.
Success leaves clues.
Success leaves clues. I like that then also. That's true. And so if you follow the clues, then you can
come to the Magic Castle. Look around, see the clues.
Yeah.
Go back out there, make it happen.
Right. Well, you have to have a dream first, don't you?
Oh, yes. A dream. And dreams do come true. I'm a big believer in that. I'm one of the luckiest people. Dove and I are the luckiest people in the world.
Why?
Can't take credit for anything.
Things just happen.
Yep.
Don't you think you kind of make your own luck sometimes? I mean, you work to make luck.
If you're working, that indicates effort. This is effortless.
Gotcha. Because we'd do it for free. The real secret is.
Yeah.
We love it so much.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I would.
Mm-hmm. And when you and Dove were working, do you always work with her, or from time to time do you ever perform without her, just solo?
That's a trick question. Yes, we work together. Of course, there was a point in time when we had met back in 1964.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was doing Magi Fest and all the conventions and things, but that was a learning curve.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like your flight time, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that.
Where did you learn to be bad, or where were you bad and learned to be good? Maybe I should put it that way.
I learned. I don't know. I didn't even know I was a magician until someone told me I was a magician.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, they said, "What are you, a magician?" And I said, "Oh, I guess I am." This was like 7 or, you get that first Remco magic set.
Oh, okay, sure.
And and it went from there.
And so, was that something that your parents had given you as a child, or something that Remco magic set?
I was privileged enough to go to kindergarten. No, what comes first?
Yeah, kindergarten.
Kindergarten. Mm-hmm. But that's a school.
Oh, well, it's preschool.
Preschool,
kindergarten.
And what's
and then
before
elementary
preschool?
Daycare.
Daycare.
Okay.
Yes. And they had a magician show up.
Wow, you can remember that far back.
Well, there's a movie called Zardoz.
With Sean Connery.
Yes, and in the movie, he's led by a magician. And the books and things and so forth until he has his enlightenment, and then he realizes what was happening. So yes, I have had the luck. The luck.
Yeah, it just seems to have followed you. So as that's happened, I'm sure there has been, again, a path in which that you kind of have jumped from one lily pad to the next, where there's been some opportunities.
Or was carried from one lily pad to the next.
Well, if you're doing a good job, then people are going to say, hey, what are you doing?
If you stay out of the way.
What do you mean? Just let fate take over?
Fate.
What would you call it?
Fate is the thinking of a thing as so, even though it's not so, so it can become so.
Okay. Try and restate that again in my mind. Say that one more time.
Fate is thinking of a thing that is not so,
okay,
so it can become so.
So that would be kind of a dream in which you are thinking about an idea, and the more you work towards that dream, then it can become so.
Yeah.
So dreams and fate are kind of intertwined. Or would you say dreams are different?
Sweet dreams are made of this.
Thank you, Annie.
Yes. You're standing on my cord.
Standing on your cord.
Thank you. Thank you. Got your attention?
Yes, you did. So when you're performing and develop your act, it was a tight act. And I was thinking about the music that you use. And I have talked with other magicians about copyright material, or I should say ASCAP type music and everything.
Yes.
Because I recall that you were using the stripper song, like to the newspaper, I think? Newspaper
Yes.
tear? Okay.
Yes. Once again, a gift.
How's that?
I'm making the newspapers. And then the tune came over the radio as I was making it. And I said, hey, that could go with this.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's not like I said, oh, I'm going to think of a right tune and do. No, it was.
As you were practicing, this just was over the radio at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Do you have to pay rights for that to when you're performing that on television?
The check is in the mail.
Okay.
When you're on official business, everything is supplied.
Okay, so it's the responsibility of the person who hires you, supposedly. It's not yours. It's supposed to be supplied.
Karma never forgets an address.
Never forget an address. Okay. Well, in developing also the rest of the act, do you look at spending a lot of time in developing a routine, or do you think about the overarching act itself, saying, where do I want to begin, where do I want to end, and what do I want the audience to feel? Or do you kind of work on a trick and then you say, okay, I think I could put this within this act?
The music that we use tells the audience how to take what we're doing emotionally.
I see.
If I'm doing the presentation and the music because I like it, I'm the only one on the stage that likes it. The audience don't like it, and I'm fooling myself. But if I'm doing this with that kind of an outlook and a plan, and the audience will tell you whether they like it or not.
Through their applause or laughter or
And response.
and response, okay, whatever the response would be. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you put things in your act that are intentionally funny? It seems like that yours is just a beautiful thing to watch. I don't see it. I mean, laughter is a response, but it's not necessarily the right response at the right time for certain acts. You know what I mean? I was just thinking, let's say like James DeMare's act. You know, it's not funny. It's beautiful. It's something to watch. You know, when I look at your act, it's not overly funny, except you laugh maybe when there was a surprise, like, "Ooh, how that happened? Oh, he fooled me."
Once again, lucky guy. There's nothing original in our presentation. It was the presentation and a lot of pieces combining.
Okay.
And they just happened to work.
But they were things that you had practiced for a long time that kind of came together. Did Dove, was there any part of that as far as helping you routine it?
I'll say this. If someone out there has not an assistant, but a partner.
There's a difference.
A big difference. And they're not listening to that partner. There are, what's the word when you're cheating yourself? What you do to yourself. And the best thing I learned in our relationship was to accept and listen to her feedback. She made all the costumes that she wore. The costumes that I was wearing was a gift from a lady named Ruthie West. She made costumes for the Jackson 5, the Temptations.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. This is, yeah.
You had a top hat, too, as I recall, too. So
Had a top hat. Okay. I probably changed my persona as much as Cher and Madonna.
That's a lot, man.
Hey, if it ain't working, okay. So I'll tell you, it's like, yeah. Okay. I had one look, and then I had another look, and then I had the turban look at a time.
Oh, I remember that, too.
Yeah. And it was like...
What made you change?
The turban?
Well, I mean, from one to the other. But why did you change your look?
Life.
You just didn't feel as comfortable in that particular look? You thought, I've outgrown this, and I'm evolved to another one? I want to shed my skin from that? Or
No, on my business cards, we had the look.
Yeah.
All right? And we went to the airport after 9/11 and got profiled.
Oh, okay. There you go. I understand.
Thank you, see?
I'm with you.
So
gotta
circumstances and availability, all those things combined. But it was time to change.
Right. Kind of like when Blackstone changed his name. I think he went by the Great Frederick for a while, and then after the war, German names were not in vogue, and so he decided to get rid of that.
There you go.
You got to be conscious of the times and the politics and what's going on.
And then again, it was a matter of convenience. I'm looking at you now and your wonderful hair. And as my hair started to diminish, I said, well, I'm going to wear this.
Oh, okay, cover your head. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought about that. Okay.
you see,
so you were not people were not attracted at the time to, or distracted by your head.
All in my head.
Okay, but it was about you. I mean, your fear of what they were thinking about what they were looking at.
No, personal preference.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying, okay, and it worked out.
And when you got to a point, you just started, I'm going to be cutting it short and just kind of shaving it?
Perception, that kind of thing. They called it a turban. I called it a toupee.
That's good. Because it was a part of you, basically.
It became
you almost
a part.
You almost felt uncomfortable not wearing it.
You could say that, yeah. Because there was a time that it was the opening piece, and they didn't know how to take it or whatever. Because I took the hat off, the turban off, and I went into a different
persona
look.
Character?
Yeah,
okay.
And then I think I had about 3 different looks in one show at a time.
Did you feel that as you were wearing the new costume, if you will,
Yes.
that your performing persona changed and your act changed, and maybe you slowed down or sped up or did something to be in character?
No.
Or did you just do the same act with a different outfit?
Different strokes for different folks.
Okay.
Yeah. Taking on the mantle of a silent act opened up the world because we didn't have to worry about dialogue.
Sound
So-
like Mr. Electric.
There you go. Learn from Mr. Electric. And Carol.
And Carol, of course.
Yes.
Dear Carol. So, in working around the world, it kind of takes me back to one of my earlier questions. Then, what was some place that you and Dove visited? Whether it was a particular performance that was impressive, was there a place that, like in the world, it's like, I'd love to go back there? So, aside from the Magic Castle, where would be some place that you liked in the world?
Well, let me tell you where I won't go back.
Okay.
And besides that, and besides that, and I won't do that. And you're saying, now, what is he saying? I'm saying...
I'm not cutting things out as you're listening. I'm not editing anything here. He is saying this. He's not saying this.
I'm just saying there were some places I wouldn't go back.
I understand.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Like, I've been places where I'm not going to name it because it was my own personal preference.
Other people may love it, but it's just for you.
Exactly. I don't ski.
Okay.
It was cold. It was cold.
You're not going back.
Right, if I could help it.
If you could help it.
If I could help it. But it was very, very good lessons learned. I mean, I think you're never any place you're not supposed to be, and you're never any place that you're not needed. That's a fact.
But you will end up where you're supposed to be.
All the time. I'm supposed to be here right now with you. This is Saturday morning before 10 a.m. And I'm sitting here opening up
Right.
to my good friend. And you can go online and see how many interviews I do. The most recent interview that a person got me to talk like this, was the amazing Jonathan.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had did he have a podcast, or was that a video thing that he had? It seemed
Video and pod.
Yeah.
The Burns factor.
something like that.
Yeah.
I recall that. Yeah. Well, I'm all the more honored. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're sharing some time here with me then, too. And so the act was, 12 minutes, or how long was your silent act that you were most known for?
Channy Pollock, who also is a instructor for us, when we met Channy, that changed everything. Opened up one's perspective, like the veil had been lifted from your eyes.
Uh-huh.
And yes, so he did 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And when he would show up, when the agent had him show up, and
Yeah.
the people who bought him, they were expecting 45. And
Wow.
they hit the ceiling, and then all the agents said, the manager said, watch the ad. They couldn't get enough.
Wow.
They took that 7. Hey, dynamite comes in small packages, and nitroglycerin takes the shape of the container it's in.
That's a very wise. That's a good point then too. Yeah, and so you have to play to your strengths then certainly, and you will end up where you're supposed to be. And in that case, I was going to ask about with Channing how instrumental he was in that. Earlier, I was going to ask you about this anyhow. With some of his doves, did he teach you? Did you go for lessons? Was he just giving you advice, or he was a friend of yours, or how did you come to work, or just you saw him and thought, "Wow, that guy is
Like
the bomb,"
everyone,
you know?
that went ballistic. That was global. Channing, he did Arabian Nights, and every magician from then on wanted to do doves. And yeah, and the card work
Right.
and everything. Yes.
Oh, people want to.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Well, even yet today, people still clone those who were successful, whether it was Houdini or whether it was Channing Pollock or Lance Burton. I mean, it's like whoever is the hottest act right now. It's like they're hot for a reason, so I want to be like that person. And unfortunately, there is only that one person. You know, otherwise you're just kind of a wannabe, it seems like. Or now there's nothing wrong necessarily with trying to clone that act and learning something, but then using that as a stepping stone onto something else. Much like Salvador Dali had several students who would actually paint over some of his paintings to learn his style, but then they would go on and become great themselves with their own individual styles. So by learning from masters and duplicating their acts, it's not a bad thing, but don't try to make a career of cloning, I guess what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
there is value in originality.
Yeah, correct. Right. There's not going to be another Mac King. There'll be other comedy magicians, but no one like Mac.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you're lucky enough to see this and recognize it, it makes a difference.
Now, Max Maven was intimately involved with the Academy of Magical Arts for a long number of years then, too. And you had worked with him quite a bit at the time, I assume, throughout his career?
Throughout our career, Max is one of those people that took us under his wing. I get choked up just thinking about Max. I'm in the position of director of entertainment because of Max. Yes, he taught me everything I know, and I have been. And he didn't do it as I look back on it and not taking credit. Okay, he was thinking of the academy. What would be the best fit for the academy?
Okay.
And the rest is history.
How did he separate the academy from the castle, or did he?
There's no separation.
Okay.
Symbiotic.
It is symbiotic. Yeah, that's true. And I know there have been other entertainment directors, I think Todd Carr for a while. And who else besides Max and you and Todd have been entertainment directors? You remember? Further back, I guess Bill when I first worked, Bill hired me.
Okay. Well, I don't actually, online for the Max Maven Memorial, I would like to think I said it all. And in order to try and recollect what I said, would make it seem like it wasn't from the heart. That was from the moment. And if you really want to know, like I wear the badge that says Director of Entertainment. They had it before Max, it was Entertainment Director. And Max says, no, it should be Director of Entertainment. And Max Maven was and to me is and always will be director of entertainment. So as I wear this badge, I'm wearing it in respect for Max. I am not the director of entertainment. Max is still directing the entertainment.
You still feel that?
Oh, definitely. I have the information that he presented to me when we started out on a flash drive. It came disguised as a pen. And when he unscrewed it, it was a flash drive, and on this drive were all the pictures, the spreadsheets, the addresses, the notes, everything. He turned that over to little old me.
It's like a secret spy pen.
Yes, very much so. And, each day I try to be worthy of his trust and the trust of the Academy, because this can be gone in a heartbeat.
I don't think people necessarily knew nor appreciated the work that Max did for the Academy, because they always think of him globally as being a mentalist and an author. And but that's why I wanted you to speak from that standpoint of what he meant to this place.
Oh,
yeah,
can't speak enough. Yep.
Well, this has changed a lot and gone through a lot of iterations and through fire and all kinds of stuff, and as well as after remodeling. I think where we're sitting now, wasn't this once the garage? I think down here.
Yes. Yes. You want to tell them where we are?
We're sitting in the Peller Theater.
Yes.
Who was named after who was Peller? I don't know either. I've just I know they've gone through some changes. The W.C. Fields bar is now called the Library Bar, and also they had the W.C. Fields table. There have been different changes. Have some of these things just been because it's time to change?
Did you interview Bill Goodwin?
I have.
He is the librarian,
yes,
and justifiably so. He has that information.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
I might ask him then about that then as well.
Yeah.
But this has gone through a lot of changes through the throughout the years, and we're celebrating what, 63 or 60? Where are we now? 61.
Water seeks its own level.
Yes. Okay, you lost me there. So
when you say it goes through these ebbs and tides and things, but it's only to get to a point where it's at the right place, and right now it's at the right place.
At the right level.
Yes.
Which may not be the right place later, because it continues to ebb and flow.
There you go.
Gotcha.
But right now, there's an old saying, I sent you a helicopter, I sent you a boat. Let your listeners look that up. They sent us a Randy Pitchford.
At the right time.
At the right time.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Wow, he has done so much, to for this.
Pure spirit.
I hadn't thought about the way that all came together, but we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for Randy. I mean,
That's
right
right.
now, it's literally today.
That's right.
And had he not grown up in the castle with the Larsons as a second family to him, basically, and been embraced by the building, the people and everything, then he would not have been able to achieve the success he did and have the vision for his gaming company, I'm sure, and everything is through Magic, I'm sure, has a lot of that then as well, to allow him to have the success he did, to be able to have that kind of great spirit that he's learned here as well, as far as sharing, to give back to the castle.
There's an act here by the name of David Kovac.
Yeah.
And one of the lines in his show is that he believes in reincarnation, and that's why he's leaving all of his money to himself.
That's right. That's funny.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, if I'm not going to go on a spiritual tangent or whatever.
I don't mind.
I tell people that the Magic Castle books itself, I'm not doing it. It takes a village. All I have to be is receptive to it.
Yeah.
And the spirits that have come before us and the ones that are becoming after us, if it's a small show for whatever reason, I consider the people, empty seats in the they're not empty seats. They're fans dressed as empty seats. And they are contributing also to the success. They're not gone. And they're definitely not forgotten.
And so their spirits live on.
Spirit and helping the castle also, the academy and the magic castle. I can't say one without the other. Like I say, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Speaking of that, I have heard people from time to time talk about some spirits that have been here, or some ghostly, not necessarily apparitions, but some unexplainable things. Have you seen or experienced anything like that here in the building during your tenure?
Silence cannot be misquoted.
Write that down, folks.
Next.
Next. Yes. Because I know there are many people who would want their ashes spread here, which was another rumor I'd heard for years, that Di Vernon's ashes were spread different places here, within the castle. And,
True.
Yeah. And other people who have died here in the castle of heart attack or else. But it's just but beyond that, whether they did or not, it's just the palpable feeling once you come into the building of the spirit of the this is where magic lives. It's the mecca of magic. That people will spend all of their lives trying to save money from overseas just to come here for a bucket list experience.
Let's see. There is several degrees. There is the novice. There is the student. There is the disciple. There is the master and the grandmaster. That's part of what this is about.
And we have all those people as members and guests or performers.
You
and
start here, and you if you're meant to be, and your due diligence pays off, you will become that grand master.
And what I think also is that's not something that you would aspire to say, I'm going to be that person. It just happens.
Respect is earned. You can't make somebody respect you.
That's my point.
Yes.
It comes, maybe not in a flash, but I think might come slow and in unexpected ways then as well. Like this podcast. I started this out just because I like talking with friends like you. I mean, it's just a conversation.
Well, thank you for considering me a friend.
Well,
wow.
Of course you are.
I don't sign the checks.
I just am saying that when I started this, though, I had no expectation nor, I guess, long-term vision of where this might go or how this will be in the annals of history digitally that people can listen to in generations from now.
If you give somebody a gift and you expect thank you, you just put a price on it.
Wow. That's very true. Yeah. It should be given without expectation.
You are not, as a magician, I can only speak as a magician. You are not honored for what you do. You're honored by what you do.
I remember AJ's book about the art of schmoozing, and he was talking about you want to give things to people, but not with the expectation, even a thank you, or them giving you something back. It's just there is a schmoozing has had a bad connotation of meaning you're trying to suck up to somebody because you want something from them. But he had kind of flipped it on its head to say the point is that you're wanting just to thank people for being there or the service they have or for being in the toll booth or whatever it is. I mean, even if it's nothing more than a thank you. I try to do that on a daily basis. I try to smile. If you do nothing else to, a homeless person in the street or help, somebody, whatever you can. I mean, the point is of being nice. There's importance of that.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, only do it first.
Do it first. Yeah. Without the expectation of wanting them to do something for you.
Hey, that movie changed my thinking. Great Expectation. Don't give the ending away. Let them go see it.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
I'll have great expectations.
And the Magic Castle, that's one of the products you come in and you experience the unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people come here to be surprised. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's what mystery is about, and unexpected events to happen, where you will be defying the laws of science and gravity, and
you want to rub shoulders with magicians. This is the lay people speaking.
Yeah.
And once they say "open sesame," and they come through the bookcase, they're in this realm, and to their maturity, they're going to analyze, dissect, and then when they leave, we hope that they leave better. Well, they're going to leave better than when they came in. Yes.
But also to have respect while you're here, which is one of the things, too, where you're not supposed to be taking photos or asking for autographs. I mean, because there are a lot of people who are celebrities or for whatever position in life.
Yes.
They come here not for anonymity, but just to have a good time also.
I don't do therapy. So I'm not going to analyze everyone coming in.
Yeah.
I'm going to hope that they know what's, and that we have all the rules and regulations there.
Right.
And have a good time.
I was just thinking about that earlier this week, about how the dress codes have changed. And I remember back when turtlenecks were popular, and there was a period of time, and they were saying, well, should we allow turtlenecks then or not, because men supposed to wear coats and ties. But it was really more than a fad. It was a fashion for quite a while, and I believe that was acceptable for a while here.
Still is.
Is it still where men can wear turtlenecks then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. If it's, yes, different once again, because I'm not the fashion police. You're asking me a question I can't respond to correctly.
Yeah, you're the director of entertainment, not the director of fashion.
Yes. Yes.
Or of attire. Well, you can perhaps answer this question. I've heard this
I'll
rumor.
do my best.
Okay. That's why I say perhaps. I'd heard a rumor where Hillary Clinton had come in a pantsuit, and they said, that's not acceptable. You have to have a dress. And she was turned away. Had you heard that?
No.
Okay.
No, but I've heard of rock stars coming in and not dressed appropriately, and they're saying this outfit costs $150,000.
Yeah.
And they said, nope, sorry.
Same thing like with ripped jeans. I know people come in with jeans. They say, well, these are very expensive jeans, or I bought whatever. It's like, sorry, it's denim.
Yeah.
But as far as the dress code then today, has it relaxed a bit as far as women are concerned, that they can wear a pantsuit, or do they have to wear a dress still? Do you know?
I'm not the fashion police.
Go back to what I said earlier, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, pivot right
okay,
back to that
well,
point.
you can, for answers to that, you can go to themagiccastle.com, and there is a dress code guidelines there that you can look at and follow.
Yes, they are. Yes.
And so, working here, has there been some experience with somebody or something or some act that kind of stands out? You were talking about Channing Pollock earlier, but I mean, over the years, Johnny Thompson, so many people who worked there. I mean, I'm not asking you about necessarily who's your favorite, but what?
Oh, I fell in that trap once.
I'm not gonna trap you.
Once. I ain't gonna fall in that one anymore. But let's say that once again, lucky guy to have the ability be in the same room with these people. Sure. Norm Nielsen, Channing Pollock, Johnny Thompson, Marvin and Carol. I mean, and they each.
Kuda Bucks, were you around? See Kuda
yes,
Bucks?
yes, yes, and Glenn and Francis.
Yep, that was the first act I ever saw here when I came to Castle. Was their act. Glenn Falkenstein and Francis Willard.
Yep, and Francis. Thank you. See, that's why you got the mic. See, you know where the bodies are buried.
Well, they were friends of mine, and yeah.
There you go. And they wouldn't be friends of yours unless it was meant to be. And they are entrusting you to help keep this legacy going.
Carry their memory.
Yeah, and this podcast does just that perfectly.
Well, thank you very much. It's what I want to do and what I want to accomplish, long beyond me. And also, a lot of times when I'm talking with people like you, that I feel like between the two of us, myself and somebody else, I think we have a brain. That we it's like they can name the first name and I'll name the second name, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like you and Dove, I'm sure, it's like you answer, you complete each other's sentences,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm quiet before she gets to up. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm done with the shut.
I know where that's going.
Yeah. How long have you been married?
I was married for 43 years.
Oh.
Yeah. And Kathy had passed just 5 years ago, just in May. So we had 43 years of wedded bliss. Absolutely is a lot of fun. And never a day went by without telling each other we love each other. We traveled where we wanted. And my advice always has been to seize the moment. Carpe diem. We believe that. It's like if an opportunity comes, it's not like, well, let's do that later when we have some more time. Because you never know when your time is up. So seize the moment. It's kind of what I've always said.
Yes. Yes.
And that's going back to what you were saying. You wouldn't be where you were supposed to be unless you say yes to things. It's yes is a better answer than no.
It takes less muscle. And if I say no, I'm spelling it K-N-O-W.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do good and bad. Somebody says, "Oh, that's a bad act," or "This is bad." "Oh, that was good." No, don't do good and bad. I do skilled and unskilled.
Okay.
That's the benchmark, right there.
Yeah. Because of your base of comparison, having seen so much and come through here, you have the ability to be a good director, not just of entertainment, but also a director of shows from the standpoint of saying, if you would stand here, I mean, do you ever talk with acts, or do you wait until they ask you?
Knock and the door shall open.
Okay.
Seek and you will find. Yes. But the moment you step into it, even though your heart is in the right place, you'll draw back a nub. So no.
Don't reach out unless they reach to you first.
There you go.
Okay. And has there been people, I mean, they're missing a golden opportunity if they're not asking you, because, again, I think you would have some good suggestions.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if I do suggestions. I'd rather do a recommendation.
There you go. And a recommendation saying you might try this or something, or you might go and study from here, or...
I don't know. I mean, I'm not perfect.
Well,
far from it. I have been wrong in my life. My life, thank God, and if I offended somebody by using that word, I apologize. But I have been wrong, and lucky enough, I have the opportunity to correct it. Instead of, I don't hold grudges. It's a waste of time.
it is.
It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
So in cases like that, without holding a grudge, it's just better to kind of have that person at arm's length. They're thinking, okay, well, if you can avoid being near or around that person or at a situation, I will avoid that situation. Or if you're driving by someplace that is a high crime area, or someplace that has a lot of accidents because there's no stop sign, I'll avoid and go around that area, kind of a thing, I guess. And similarly, like with some people, I mean, you
can be right, and you can be dead right.
Yeah, that's right. You sound like that. I think it was seatbelt commercial or a PSA about that, about wearing your seatbelt. You know that you could be right, but you were dead right. So look and listen before you go across the intersection.
We've just been going through this weather with the rain. It doesn't rain in California; it pours.
Yeah.
And I hit a pothole coming here today, and
damage your rim.
That's just it. I became more the sound and the depth of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't stop me because I was supposed to be with you. So because I'm supposed to be with you today, you saved the car. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Scott, you saved my car today.
Well, you're saving me by being here then, too. Again, I've been wanting to talk with you for so long.
But we didn't talk enough about magic. I mean,
well,
gosh.
What would you like to say about magic?
It's not hard to find magic.
Okay.
What's hard is to find something that's not.
Because there's magic in everything. Okay. Well, I mean, that's cliche, magic in a smile or laughter of a child or different things like that. It's all true. It's not just cliche.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that's outside and beyond just the magic castle that you can, if you keep that in your heart.
And you gotta believe.
Mm-hmm. What do you believe in?
What do I believe?
Yeah.
You ever look up the word believe?
I have not.
Stop.
Is your picture there?
I looked up the word believe, and they have these. They say all these words come from the Latin.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be the first language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The word believe comes from the Latin word placebo.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense because when we're using placebos, then now as a fake drug of something that will satisfy or satiate your need
it's going to
work. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So don't let anyone mess with your belief.
Yeah. Well, however, beliefs change and they evolve as you age and you experience.
Anytime you hear the word however or but, it changes everything that came before.
It negates all that. That's why I always like to use the word and.
Ah.
And if you think about this kind of a thing.
Yeah. But the world of magic is doing very well, very healthy.
Mm-hmm.
What a blessing. Penn and tellers fool us.
You think we live in a golden age of magic again? A resurgence of a golden age now? Or
never came out of it. It just went into maybe a hiatus for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still thriving.
I didn't mean to interrupt. You're saying about Penn and Teller and others that are really...
Oh, yeah. America's Got Talent.
True.
Masters of Illusion.
Right.
And I don't have an idea what's happening in Europe. I mean, over here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now all the new clubs that are opening up, like we said earlier in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And tours of people who are going around. I mean, Alex Ramon's touring. I know Lance Burton and friends are touring. The Masters of Illusion has a tour that's going around. So people are going into... I don't know if Michael Carbonaro is touring now, but he has. I mean, my point is, you can see live... Champions Magic, I just saw them with Holly England and others, just recently. I assume that the Masters of Illusion will probably get cranked up again sometime soon. With Kevin James and that group. But the point is, magic is all around us, and it can come to your neighborhood soon,
Yeah. Whatever caused it to shut down for 2.5 years didn't win.
It didn't. And that was something, as far as what we were able to do with Zoom, there were a lot of people who rejuvenated their magic and learned to be successful in that environment from home.
When we were in that at the time, and we were doing Zoom shows for the members, yes, I want to take this moment to thank all those magicians who volunteered to do them. I say volunteer because the pay was so small, but they didn't do it for the money.
Sure.
they did it for the Academy and the Magic Castle. So, yes, it moved on, and everyone started adjusting, adapting, and those who made it through.
Now, they had, what was that, Thursday nights or Fridays? What night was that?
Saturday nights.
Saturday nights, yeah. That were member nights that members could tune in, and there were hundreds of people, I believe, who were watching all of that.
Yes.
And then they were archived so they can watch them later then as well.
You get to the Magic Castle, you can go to the library, and if you're nice, you might get lucky to go into the room, and then they have it all listed and just see.
So for the video library. Well, then that's something also that was a little bit of a carryover. For an example, like with the lecture I'm going to be giving, I'm going to be streaming that, I guess, for members then as well. So
see, you're going to be leaving clues.
Yeah. Okay, that's a call back there too. You are marvelous, man. See, we don't need to talk about just magic. I mean, friends just are not one-trick ponies. I mean, there are things that you talk about that are just conversational, see? So have you enjoyed this?
Oh, I'm having a ball. I can't do enough. I was trying in the beginning to please everyone. And then someone somehow told me, he said, Jack, it's easier to put on a pair of slippers than it is to carpet the world.
And you live by that.
I try to, as much as I can.
Well, that brings me to the conclusion that I wanted to ask about your magic word, because I always like to finish by asking, what is the philosophy of life? What is it that is most important? There have been several Jack-isms that you've given us, Goldfinger statements that are really good. But what would you say is, when you wake up in the morning, it's important to you, that you want to live by?
Well, I've said that earlier in the conversation, which would be, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, only do it first. I remember getting my feelings hurt, but it wasn't so much the person, it was me not understanding at the time. Okay? So, and then once I did, if you're lucky in life, and if you haven't done it yet, go back to your mother and say, Mom, I'm sorry. I remember when I did this and this. I get it now.
Right.
If you got that opportunity to do it, and your father also. Okay. But as far as magic is concerned, what I would leave with as a bit of something to help the performer out there think, what is the process? Okay, real quick. When you're coming to the Magic Castle, this is what we're looking for. This is what magic is looking for. Not just me. This is magic in general. Do something that they haven't seen. If you can't do something they haven't seen, do something that they have seen, and make them say, "I wish I had thought of that." And the third one is just fool them. That's it. So my parting words at this moment in time that we're having this, and thank you again, Scott, would be out there to say, learn trick, do trick, cash check.
Good advice.
Can I drop the mic? This is your mic.
Then no.
Okay.
We'll pretend that happened.
Okay. I won't drop
That's
it.
great. Thank you very much. And I
Yes.
appreciate our time together, and I appreciate not just
Thank you.
this time, but over the years as
Thank
well.
you.
Going
Thank
way
you.
back to the Magic Island, whenever
That's
we were
right.
working together back in Houston way back when, and you were taking photos, of everybody's close-up case and everything.
And still have
And-
that book is ready to go. Steve Mitchell has compiled this,
Mm-hmm.
and just need some way to publish it. That's it. I
There are
don't
a lot
want
of
to have.
publishers. You can find a publisher.
You can't buy free.
Okay. I see where you're going. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, good luck. I hope that gets published soon. I'd like to see that. Over the years, you
Hope
have
is
to have
the
hundreds.
awareness of the possibilities.
And you're aware that free is going to be difficult to find.
No, it's not.
You think?
No, that which I am seeking is seeking me.
And it will find you.
Yeah, everyone finds the castle. That which they are seeking, we're seeking them.
That's true.
They just don't know it.
Yeah. Jack, thanks again. This is wonderful. So over the Magic Word Podcast, that was Jack Goldfinger. I love you, man. This is Scotty out.
Thank you, Jack. Wow, this was one of those podcasts where even I have gone back a couple times just to hear this again. He, as you can tell from time to time throughout our chat, he just had me flummoxed. It's like, let me think about that for just a minute. I had to kind of digest some of the gems he was polishing there that he was dropping on us. Golly, thank you, Yoda. That was wonderful to kind of study at your feet there for this past hour. And I hope that you, the listener, have enjoyed that as well. And if you did, please consider sharing this and let other people in your magic club or other magicians that you know, let them know about the Magic Word Podcast also. Please share and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff you're supposed to do. And like it, I guess, and whatever else. I certainly appreciate it. We're trying to make this podcast grow. And one way of doing that, of course, if you'll just go to iTunes or Google Play, give us a 5-star review with your comments. That'd be greatly appreciated. Well, this has been another outstanding episode, number 800, which is, again, a milestone. And I appreciate everybody coming back and helping to make this podcast what it is today. I appreciate your advice and suggestions. And boy, let's just keep us going for another 800 episodes. What do you say? So until next week, stay well, get booked, and remember to do something that they haven't seen. Or if they have seen it, then make them wish they had thought of it. And then finally, learn trick, do trick, cash check. I love it. This is Scotty out.